Hello, I'm Mamie Bah. Thank you for joining us for Intersections. Here's what you can expect in this month's episode. They're buying now, paying later, literally. The growing number of Americans taking on debt just to live in the present. Plus, making sure no one goes hungry. We're sitting down with an organization bringing light and hope to Thanksgiving at a time when people need it most. And they're the first to answer when emergencies strike, but fewer people are answering the call. The volunteer firefighter shortage hitting our communities. So pull up a chair and meet me at the corner. Intersections starts now. Right now, they run toward danger while others run away. Across the country and right here at home, the volunteer firefighter industry is seeing a decline in the number of people willing to put their lives on the line to save others. The Office of the State Fire Commissioner says it's down to about 38,000 volunteers compared to more than 300,000 volunteers in the 1970s. My guests today are with Southern Allegheny Valley Emergency Services Fire Chief Mike Danaher and the department's second longest running volunteer, Lou Costanza. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. So starting off, tell me a little bit about when you joined the department, which is volunteer-based, and what made you want to serve?
So I joined in the 90s, and I was third-generation firefighter, and my daughter's now a fourth-generation firefighter. And I always admired firefighters, seen family members participate, and wanted to do the same thing to help my community.
What about you, Lou?
I joined in 1976, and I looked up to firefighters, everyone in our town that, I looked up to. And I just said, I'd like to try that.
Yeah, I do know that back then there were wait lists. So what was your experience? Were any of you waitlisted?
No, I wasn't, but when I joined the list, we had 82 active members.
Wow. What about you, Chief?
So when I joined, there was not a waiting list, but the room was much fuller than what it is today. So there was standing room only when you had monthly meetings.
Yes.
And that's not what you see in most departments today.
Yeah, and why do you think that is?
So for one thing, the number of hours is about 220 hours of training to complete your modules 1 through 4 to become an interior firefighter, not including your Pro Board Firefighter 1 certification. So that's a huge commitment of time for volunteers to take away from their families and their employment to be able to go out and contribute, not including responding to emergencies, doing public relations, doing fundraising and things like that. So it's a very big commitment of people's time.
Yeah, and maybe some people are not willing to put all that work in, right? And so, Lou, for you, having been there for 50 years, you've seen the department go through so many changes. What do you think it is? What do you think is impacting the shortage?
Just the attitude of people about volunteering. That's disappearing. There's so many other things that they can do to get paid for and enjoy. And firefighting, you're helping someone, but you don't get a paycheck. So we have to keep that positive attitude towards the new people all the time. You just get a good feel back. You help someone at a bad time.
Yeah, it's definitely a thankless job. You're there when people, need it most. I know a few years ago, I lost everything in a fire, and I never forgot what it was like when that firefighter walked out of the building and handed me pictures. I was still able to keep those pictures with me. I still have them today. So it really is a thankless job. And gentlemen, we really thank you for everything you do. And shifting gears here just a bit, Chief, I know recently your department merged. Has the merger helped in terms of adding to your staffing?
It did. So we doubled in size, very quickly. And since then, this past Tuesday, we swore in 5 brand new members. Part of it was the visibility and the attention we had gotten for the merger, help bring some new members in, which is really good. And the other component of that is just trying to get out in the community, make your department visible to try and gain attention. And then when people come in, try to make them feel family-like. So they have to have a reason to hang around, and the camaraderie and the familyness that we hope helps them retain, realizing that they're providing a vital service, but also fill maybe a need in their family.
Yeah, and on a good day, how many firefighters are able to respond to the call?
And that varies greatly by time of the day. So during the daytime, when most people are at work, we're fortunate enough we have some public works members that are able to leave work and attend fire calls. So we can have 8, 10 people sometimes during the daytime, which is kind of unheard of. And then in the evening, it just varies on people's availability. So we've been very, very fortunate that we've had a pretty robust turnout during calls, but that can change around holidays and certain times of the year.
Yeah, and would you say most of your members are legacy? I know, one of our photographers here, Dennis Lane, he's a great photographer. Dennis is a volunteer firefighter. He's been a volunteer firefighter for 15 years. He tells me he comes from a long line of firefighters. Are most of your members legacy?
Probably about 70% of them are legacy firefighters, and then the other 30% are folks that just were inquisitive, stopped on, met us or at a public event, and then felt the same connection and were able to join.
Yeah, and you're legacy, but you're not, Lou.
Oh, I'm not.
Yeah.
I just tried it on my own. And the following year, I got 3 of my friends to, come on.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Yeah, you encouraged, inspired them
Yes.
to join the team. So, gentlemen, what do you all want to see happen with the industry, right? Do you feel like there needs to be more incentives for people to join? What do you want to see happen moving forward?
So, yeah, absolutely. The more incentives would help entice people to maybe be inquisitive enough to come down and just meet us. The other thing we've done is we've stepped back at the age that we recruit members. So we now recruit members at age 14 years of age. So we're getting a middle schooler that we're hoping that hasn't created a whole bunch of other interests, maybe in sports or things like that we can bring them at a younger age and put them through. They can start out in the academy even at age 14 and really create a bond with them and mentor them. And then they have the wonderful opportunity of getting free community college through Community College of Allegheny County with the FireVest program. So it's one way we can get them their associate's degree free of charge for committing 5 years of service to the volunteer fire department.
Yeah. Why do you feel like there's not this, you talk about how at the time that you joined, being a firefighter is something that everyone wanted to do. What do you think happened with the joy of just wanting to help out in your community? It just seems like that's diminished. People want something for their assistance.
Correct. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And when we interview people, we just tell them, whatever you're comfortable with. Unfortunately, you don't get a paycheck every 2 weeks. And you just do it for the goodness that it brings.
Yeah, definitely, gentlemen. I mean, you all do it all the time, and the members of your department, we really thank you so much for your service.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. There's still more ahead on Intersections. When times are tough, they're keeping the spirit of Thanksgiving alive. Up next, how Light of Life will handle the growing demand to provide a warm meal to those who need it most. Light of Life Rescue Mission feeds thousands on Thanksgiving. In its 73rd year, organizers say the need is even greater. Given the recent government shutdown, the economy, and the price of groceries, they plan on providing more than 20,000 meals this year. They are here right now to join us, to talk to us all about that. So tell me, 20,000 meals, how does that compare to past years?
Yeah, sure. So, something we like to say at Light of Life is Thanksgiving is a Pittsburgh tradition at the mission. And we say that because for over 70 years, we've been serving Pittsburgh's homeless a Thanksgiving meal, but also families just around Pittsburgh and the neighboring communities have come together as a family to serve Thanksgiving, volunteering day of. So they give up their Thanksgiving dinner at home to come serve with us, which is really cool. Something that we've decided to do back in 2011 was when we started this, but we found a greater need than outside Pittsburgh's homeless. We found that families were struggling with food insecurity. So we launched this Thanksgiving Box Drive initiative. So back in 2011, we served 76 boxes to families in need. And this year we're serving 2,800 boxes, which is actually a jump from last year, which was just 2,300 boxes. So that just kind of shows you this increase already for those that are struggling with food insecurity, people on the brink of homelessness, and families who you probably wouldn't even consider at one point to be sort of living paycheck to paycheck. It's just kind of like this domino effect that's happening to families around the city, like being in more of a greater need.
Yeah. And what about you, Rob? What do you think?
Well, we believe it all starts with a meal. But yeah, I mean, traditional Thanksgiving meal this year, turkey stuffing, sweet potato, cornbread stuffing, pie, green beans. And it's just a great thing to be able to help. And like you said, the need has been overwhelming this year, and we're helping a lot more people, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, and Adam, you're with Urban Impact, and you get some of those boxes. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so last year we got 175 of those boxes, and those are students and families that are already part of our organization. So we have a relationship with them, and they're just critical for success. I mean, for food that week, and it's just a huge blessing because the turkey and all the sides are already prepared and provided for them. So it makes that week a little easier for our families.
Yeah, and what's it like for you all? Because Thanksgiving is such an emotional time. What is it like when you're able to hand that box over to someone knowing that they're now able to have a warm Thanksgiving meal?
Well, Adam could probably speak into that because Light of Life, what we do is we partner with 30 organizations, including Urban Impact. And for us, it's essential to reach more people in need by partnering with these organizations. So what we'll do for Thanksgiving Box Day, which we call it, is the Monday before Thanksgiving. We have over 100 volunteers and staff. We get together at a warehouse, and it's like an assembly line. We pack all these boxes with all the fixings, and then the partner organizations come and they pick all the boxes up, and then they deliver them straight to the families in need. So yeah, Adam would probably be best to answer just like that direct impact of seeing.
Yeah, so about 30 to 40 of our staff will divide up all of these 175 boxes. We'll take them to people that we have a relationship with, and then we get to minister to them. We get to pray with them, wish them a happy Thanksgiving. It is really special just to be able to provide something that is a real tangible need. This is something that blesses them and helps just enable their Thanksgiving to go smoothly.
Yeah. Do you all think that without the current economic challenges, food insecurity, rising costs, housing struggles, that, you would see differences this year if people weren't facing these economic pressures?
Well, I think that the economic pressures have just been increasing. I mean, we say since COVID, but really even before that, and it just exasperated it. And with the pause in the SNAP benefits that have been occurring, yes, we have seen, let's say, for instance, you're a family who has relied on SNAP benefits for however long. If you now have to pay for your own groceries, you no longer can pay for maybe your heating bill or warm winter clothing for your kids. It's a domino effect, and something that we keep track of at Light of Life, because obviously we deal with the homeless. Just in the last 12 months, we've seen 14,000 evictions in the city of Pittsburgh, with, ironically, a 13% spike in January this past year, which was obviously the coldest month out of the year in Pittsburgh, which is showing like statistical data that, these people are probably paying for their heating bills and maybe not their rent. And all these things that just, like I said, a domino effect that occurs because, if you're paying for one thing, that means that you can no longer pay for another if you are someone who's living paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah, just being a reporter and being on the street and, doing stories, speaking to people, talking about SNAP benefits. I spoke to a woman and she said, I have to decide, am I going to turn my heat on or am I going to eat? That's really the conundrum a lot of people are in.
Right.
Yeah. And so I'm sure your help definitely goes a long way. So if anyone is watching this and they want to help your mission, the mission, how can they help?
Yeah, I mean, right now, like I said, Light of Life, Thanksgiving, it's sort of a Pittsburgh tradition. All of our volunteer opportunities have been set for Thanksgiving because it's one of our most requested days. Always we're looking for monetary donations and then volunteers throughout the year. But also just like pray for our city. Pray for our city's homeless. That is always the number one thing that you can do. And And then, of course, urban impact, like if there's any immediate needs for you guys too.
Yeah, I mean, we handle the boxes internally because that's a built relationship with those students and families. But I mean, urban impact's about impacting one person, one family, one block at a time. So my encouragement would be like to knock on your neighbor's door and see if they have a need that you could meet in that moment. Like, do they need a Thanksgiving meal and just to come to your house? Because, you know, if we love on each other, then like we'll build a community that we'll all want to be a part of.
Yeah, no one definitely should be alone on Thanksgiving, especially this Thanksgiving with.
Yeah, and if you are somebody that's still in need of a Thanksgiving meal, you know, we are serving Thanksgiving Day from 12 to 6 p.m. at our Vetley Street shelter. Rob and I will be there all day long. So you want to talk about what food we're going to serve Thanksgiving Day?
Yeah, and that's just a great thing to be able to participate. You know, our doors will be open from noon to 6, and anybody that comes in the door will get a traditional Thanksgiving meal. And Mamie, I wish you could see some of the people and the reactions, just being able to come into a warm place, sit down to a hot meal. You know, people just sometimes actually come to tears to be able to have a place like that. But like I said, traditional Thanksgiving, you know, roasted tom turkey and all the fixings. It's a great thing to watch happen.
Yeah, you all are doing amazing work. Thank you so much. And as volunteers keep hope alive this Thanksgiving, will shoppers still splurge for Black Friday and Cyber Monday? An expert on consumer trends weighs in. Intersections. We'll be right back. Shopping season is here, and while it's the right time, it could be the wrong climate for spending. But maybe not. The National Retail Federation predicts holiday sales will reach $1 trillion this year. Last year, total spending reached $976 billion. My guest today is an expert on consumer spending, Point Park University professor Doreen Saletti. Tell us a little bit about that. So at a time when we expect people to be cutting back their spending, explain that to us.
Well, you know, it's the holiday season is a reflection of the economy, but also of people's interest in celebrating. So there is still that desire to have some normalcy and to be able to provide gifts, to be able to have family together, to be able to provide the celebrations, the food, all that goes along with it. So while there is a lot of economic uncertainty right now, it's more about being kind of strategic in purchases rather than just cutting back on purchases.
Yeah, and how are people going to be paying for all of this? I guess that's my concern here, right? You know, government shutdown, the price of groceries, people having to debate between their heat or what they're going to eat. So how are they paying for this?
Right. Well, there are a couple of different ways. You know, there still is some money out there in the economy, and so people are still spending what they can. But there are also some tools out there. Things like buy now, pay later is increasing in popularity. So we're seeing that being used from everything from groceries to gift purchases to other wants and needs.
Yeah, I read somewhere the other day, actually, that with buy now, pay later, a lot of people are not realizing how much debt they are in. Is that something you encourage?
Well, not necessarily.
Yes, of course.
Right, but buy now, pay later, they are kind of like microloans. So every time you use a buy now, pay later option, it's not like you don't have to pay that back. You might be able to pay that back over a longer period of time. There are some services that allow you to do that with no interest. So it can seem like a good option up front, but many small buy now, pay later loans can add up to some fairly significant debt. And in some cases, when you're using buy now, pay later for a larger purchase, the payback period might be spread out over a longer time, but then you might incur some interest as well. And if you miss a payment, there are late payment fees. The other thing that's been happening is that some of these buy now, pay later services are now reporting to credit bureaus. Not all of them, but some of them do. So that is something to be wary of if you're thinking about using that service.
Yeah, because you go to the mall now compared to past years, and you're able to buy now, pay later, and people are essentially just walking out with these purchases, not really thinking of the long-term implications and if they're going to be able to pay for this in the future, you know, borrowing for the future to live in the present currently. And so do you think we'll see the long lines that we're used to seeing on Black Friday?
Well, we probably will see some lines. there is a mix of, consumers really using an omni-channel experience. There is still the digital shopping. People are shopping online. That's expected to increase a bit. And we're also seeing consumers are using tools a little bit differently, particularly AI, using AI to try to create and curate lists, try to find the best deals. And so I think we'll see a mix of, when we think about the holiday shopping, people that are going into the store, they want that experience, they have the plan, or they're buying online and picking up in store. That's still a very popular option. And others that will, just choose to buy online and maybe miss the crowds.
Yeah, and talk to us a little bit about how we'll see an increase in pricing.
Yeah, so, there is economic uncertainty right now. We are seeing some price increases, some inflation, concern with the impacts of tariffs. So while there is expected to be a bit of an increase in overall spend for the holiday season, that increase isn't just necessarily based on increase in purchases. It's increase in pricing. So you're spending more to get maybe the same or maybe even a little less than you might have purchased last year.
Yeah, I was thinking that people were going to more so focus on the togetherness, given everything that people have gone through this year, than actually going out to buy gifts.
Well, and there is some of that because, one of the social media trends right now, several of them relate to that. One of them on TikTok is Christmas nostalgia.
Yeah.
That's been trending. Another on other social media platforms is homemade holidays. And so people are thinking about, how do we bring back some of that nostalgia, some of that tradition, or create our own traditions in ways that maybe don't break the bank? Because we certainly don't want to see a December flash that leads to a January crash when you look at how you now have to pay back what you spent, or maybe be more aware of or spend a little less on some of the necessities as you move out of the holiday season and into the new year.
Yeah, and definitely think about taking advantage of those sales, right? And just so you can save as much money as possible. So.
Right. Consumers are really focused on value-seeking consumers, treasure-hunting consumers. Where can we get a good deal, and how can we find that deal? So again, using tools a little bit differently, being a little more strategic in choosing those purchases.
Great, thank you so much. Definitely be sure to take that advice with you. I'll have my last word when we come back. Time. It's running out for the 44th annual KDKA Turkey Fund. Please donate to help our neighbors in need have a warm Thanksgiving meal. Go to any PNC bank. They'll match all donations of $50 or more. You can also text KD Turkey to 50155 or go to kdka.com/turkeyfund. From all of us here at KDKA, thank you. Thanks for spending some time with us here today on Intersections. I'm Mamie Bah. We'll see you next time on Intersections.